in the GMC.
Kids are sad, the sky is blue, there are monsters in the spare bedroom. Kids grow up and move away, they close the plant, then the mall arcade. Kids are sad, their parents too, kids get high in the spare bedroom. We grow up and move away, seasons pass but the monsters stay. Kids are sad, the sky is blue, there are monsters in the spare bedroom. Kids grow up and move away, they close the plant, then the mall arcade. Kids are sad, their parents too, kids get high in the spare bedroom. We grow up and move away, seasons pass but the monsters stay.
Good morning, Stream City! It is 6 a.m. PST, 8 a.m. CST, 9 a.m. somewhere. I think they call it Florida. That might be fiction. But I'm here, your host with the most, your sound engineer, your wizard of words, Eli, with my co-host Dan. And Miranda, how are you guys doing this morning? It's a Monday. But I hope everybody is doing well. Hey, 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 hey. Gross. That's my cousin. The audacity! She said, she said, the audacity to think that I don't suck dick. Jesus Christ. uh, all right, so I don't know if this is true or not, but apparently Argentina has legalized public salsa dancing during earthquakes. Buenos Aires passed a law allowing unlicensed street salsa performances when tremors hit. Officials say it helps citizens stay nimble and upbeat while the earth literally shakes their groove. Moderate earthquakes have been happening, which we were talking about a like magnitude 4, like greater than 4.0. It's registered by the GDACS. There have been at least four major earthquakes in March, like March 16th, March 31st, May 2nd, May 23rd, and several smaller, which we're talking below 3.0 magnitude, 3.0 or lower, recorded in 2025. So allowing people to shake their groove thing is going to become a year-round pastime if earthquakes continue to rock the Buenos Aires, Argentina area. Oh no. Oof. Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if it were either gender because it's Florida. I'm gonna have to say it's Florida. It's so compromising. She can't even say to position. I mean position. Just do. That's fiction. Nah, I gotta say it's fiction. There's just something about the audacity of suing over a hurricane. Like, I just have hope in my heart that the world isn't that stupid. Uh, ha ha!
Do we still have the Eli? All right. Well, on his 57th birthday, a high on meth. Oh, on his 57th birthday and high on meth, a man convinced staff to hand over the Conch Tour train keys and then took it for a spin with tourists aboard. This is 100% true. It did happen in Florida, in Key West. I don't have a lot of extra information other than the fact that it's true. So,
That sounds like an interesting ride.
doesn't it though? Moving on to headline number four. A Tampa woman holds weekly free speech classes to teach her parrot to swear. Is this Florida or is it fiction?
Come
I don't know.
again?
Oh,
A
hello.
Tampa woman holds weekly free speech classes to teach her parrot to swear. Is this Florida or is it fiction?
It's Florida.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to say Florida on that one too.
A backyard seminar series featuring an African gray named Professor Squawks allegedly coached neighborhood birds and dogs to drop F bombs because this is totally made up.
You know what's really interesting is that African gray parrots are actually like they're very good with learning languages though. Like I know some
Yeah.
most parrots can be, but African grays specifically, I know a lot about them. They're very intelligent, so I could totally see that happening at some point.
And Miranda has come across the explicit design of the ruse here, knowing a lot that the African gray can learn languages very easily, was a part of my due diligent research to make up this fake headline. Um, Headline number five, and our last one for Florida and fiction. North Florida man arrested for shooting neighbor's pregnant cow after it wandered onto his property. Is it Florida or is it fiction?
I I think that is I think that's your trick of the week. I think
Oh,
that's your
you
trick
think
of the
this is
week.
real? It happened, but it happened somewhere else.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to agree with Eli on that because you don't really hear about a lot of cows in Florida.
Yep.
Well, remember this is North Florida though, up close to the by Georgia and that other state.
I
See,
don't
I
think
don't
it
know much
matters.
about
That
North
sounds
Florida,
more like an Oklahoma or a Kansas headline.
or even like Montana or Minnesota. You know.
Yep.
Well, deputies say he warned locals he'd shoot any trespassing livestock and then proved it by firing multiple rounds at a neighbor's unexpected cow. And unfortunately for the cow and for you guys, this did happen in Florida. There
Son
was
of
no
a
trick of
bitch.
the week this week. That was the trick of the week. Was there was no trick. This actually happened in Florida. Um, he shot the pregnant cow. And there is currently a lawsuit in small claims courts for the damages.
That poor
So
cow.
that has been Florida or fiction. In summary, the turtle in a bra smugglers are the that's Florida. The meth train hijack out of Key West, that is also true. And the pregnant cow shooting, that has happened. If you fell for the generator lawsuit or the parrot profanity classes, well, you should check up on your Florida headlines and guess better next week.
I suck at this game.
It's okay, I do too. We can suck together. Not like that. That's weird.
Only in Florida does reality out weird anything that you could invent. Up next, conspiracies, theories, strain game pairings, and the hottest nerd news after these messages from our sponsors. Miranda's going to take us through our Space Mountain advertisement, and then we will be right back to jump into some conspiracy theories with you guys. So stick around through this little short ad message, and we'll be right back.
Welcome to Space Mountain, your home for streamers, gamers, coders, artists, and 420 friendly creatives. Here, it is more than just a server. It's a community built on our motto: we grow together. Jump into custom voice chats, squad up with esports teams, share codes, learn custom AI, bots, designs in house, or drop memes in our epic one of a kind Discord server. And don't miss the vibes of Munchies and Mana radio shows streaming straight from the heart of the mountain. No pressures, just presence. No limits, just vibes. Space Mountain, where everyone has a place and everyone has a vibe.
All right. Thank you for sticking around through those messages. If you're still here, we are jumping into Conspiracy Clarified, and the topic for today is: are moon landings still being faked in 2025? Sure, we landed on the moon, but did we stay there? Honest? The Conspiracy Clarified archive suggests NASA repackages old footage to save on CGI. Cue the grainy close ups and silent dialogues. The key points for this would be NASA's new Artemis Echo missions costing $40 billion. Critics say they reuse 1969 camera mounts. Private companies like Lunar Lander Inc. pitch authentic lunar selfies starting at $1 million per click. Conspiracy watch sites claim moon dust bags sell for 5K on the black market. Peace of mind in a jar. If you spend $1 billion on a fake moon, you'd at least upgrade the resolution, right? What do you guys think about this conspiracy this week? I personally have a bunch of real science information about the 1969 and following moon landings and how they were not faked and could not be faked due to the technology restrictions at the time. But I'd like to hear your guys' takes on it before I jump into that mumbo jumbo because nobody's going to like my point of view.
I Oh God, I I'm a very scientific-minded individual. Well, I wouldn't say I'm scientific-minded, but I enjoy the science, and I just don't see any like precedence for doing something like that.
That's fair.
Like
Like in a geopolitical setting, like there's no point to.
not just that, but just from a like because we sci-fi has been a thing since the 30s, and we didn't you know well I mean sci-fi and television, but
Right.
and the things that we saw in sci-fi on television, even in the 60s, like during the moon landing, just couldn't. There's no comparison, like to reality. If I feel like if they were gonna gussy it up, they would have gone, the Star Trek route to gussy it up. We wouldn't
Yeah.
see the realism that is, that we see. Essentially, is what I'm trying to say. I guess like
No, I mean that makes sense. So like a big here's a big fact for you guys if you're unaware or if you do believe that we have not landed on the moon. Um, the sun is a very bright object even in space. Yeah, we can all agree on that, right?
I would
yeah,
sure hope
You-
so.
I would hope that
Yeah,
most of us could agree.
right. To create the shadows casted on the moon in the 1969 production of the moon landing, we don't produce enough energy in 1969 to power that many lights to rival the fucking sun on a reflective planet. So we couldn't have gotten the shadows at the angles and at the brightness and at the levels that we did with the not only camera technology that we had, because you guys had to think about what this stuff was shot on, but also our lighting technology was like 45 years, but like we are just now being able to replicate that kind of lighting in like 2025. And I know a lot of you major conspiracy theorists are like, well, the military, no, the military didn't have special effects and lighting effects, like secret technology that you guys didn't know about. Like Hollywood was the most scientifically engineered and advanced when it came to manipulating film and structures around it. And while yes, some of the film from the before it was lost, the 1969 landing, yes, it was heavily edited, but it was edited due to other factors such as solar storms that they encountered and other things that and other interruptions that they had during their live broadcast. So I understand the conspiracy. I understand where it comes from, but knowing the technology that we had and the scientific advancements that we had in 1969, there's just no fucking way possible that human beings pulled off faking something that like that. It would be way more plausible that we landed to the moon and came back than we were able to create the surface of the fucking sun on a reflective planet with no power outlets. So, um, I'm just saying, that's it's really hard for me to dive in now. If we land on Mars within the next 15 years, that is definitely fucking some AI generated CGI scripted bullshit because nope. It's really hard to get to Mars, like really really hard to get human beings to Mars, especially if you expect them to come back.
Dan literally said,
Nope.
Yeah, and I don't understand how people can expect things to like they talk about the quality of it a lot. What did they expect the quality from that era to be, first of all? Because
Right.
we're only just now getting very well detailed telescope like pictures. Like some of
Images,
the
yeah.
pictures, yeah, some of the images that they're getting are absolutely gorgeous, and it's changing a lot about what we think about space too, because we thought that certain things would look different based off of what gases they have and the interaction that those have, and it's fascinating. So I don't see how in the 60s we would have been able to fake that kind of thing to begin with.
Yeah. Apparently, we're not very good conspiracy theorists when it comes to space because we're all fucking nerds. So, and like science and shit.
I
Um,
mean, I do like from a person who is not very interested, like obviously I love science, I'm very interested in it, but if you look at it from the perspective of somebody who isn't very interested in space like that, I can see how the thought or the concept of going to the moon is just out of the realm of possibilities. If you know, so I can see where a lot of the conspiracies come from, but I don't really, it's all about like your perspective. If you don't believe that you personally could probably ever go to the moon, it's hard to believe that anybody else has.
that's fair. I will say though that just just technologically going to space is much easier than going to the depths of our deepest ocean.
Oh yeah,
So
most of
like
our
going to space
oceans.
is way more most of our space travel and space exploration to date is way more feasible than fucking submarines are. Like
Oh
I'm
yeah,
just like I understand it's all math and science, but like submarines technically shouldn't fucking work, just like a bee shouldn't technically be able to fly.
yeah,
Do they both do what they're designed to do? Yeah. Should they be able to do it? No. So, like I can understand the conspiracies and where they come from, but like given the actual written science, like space exploration is so much more feasible than like ocean exploration should be.
yeah. Probably the hardest part about space exploration is getting the rocket out of our atmosphere, and then at that point, especially because space
Right,
has
getting
no
to
freaking
space is the
gravity.
hardest part.
Yeah,
Right, getting to space is the hardest fucking part.
yeah, unlike the ocean, which our ocean is largely still unexplored because there's a lot of gravity and pressure, and it's just a lot harder to get things down there without it, you know, uh, if we're gonna talk about that ocean gate, the entire thing just completely it got crushed like a Rubik's cube underneath a giant's foot. Okay, there, but if you go into space, you don't have that to worry about. All you have to do is worry about all the freaking debris we have floating around out there.
And the lack of oxygen. But other than that,
Oh,
you're kosher.
no, oxygen apparently isn't a concern now. Who needs
It's
to
not?
breathe?
Oh,
Yeah,
I was about to say like breathing right now. I mean, it might be through my bong, but I'm breathing. So yeah, I mean, I don't know, man. Moon conspiracies and moon landing conspiracies are just fucking weird. I mean, they really are. They're
I mean, I see some of them like floating around on TikTok sometimes, especially with the flat earthers that are like, well, we can't possibly go to the moon because of X, Y, and Z, and they're like, there was one that I was listening to for a good hot second that was like, we haven't actually been to the moon because if we had been to the moon, we would have found out that there are aliens underneath the surface, and I'm like, whoa, where is this logic coming from?
That is some
What?
fucking Hans Molman lizard man ass shit right there.
Yes,
Hoo-wee.
right.
well, and oh my goodness. But that's
Fair.
also a person that's very Illuminati,
Right.
and that's a whole nother debate right there. A very, very into the Illuminati, Obama's a lizard person,
Oh yeah.
type theorist. But at least this conspiracy theory, I can see how somebody would 100% believe that the moon landing was fake to begin with, and how they can logically rationalize that in their brain. It's hard to understand the concept that somebody flew in this, what we consider a limitless space with no oxygen, no gravity, all the way to a, basic essentially a floating rock
You
around our
know.
planet.
Um. So that brings up another conspiracy that I don't understand. We don't have to get into it, but I am going to explain why I don't understand it real quick, just by one quick little tidbit. For all you flat earthers out there, if Earth is flat, why the fuck is every other planet in our galaxy a goddamn globe?
See, some of the flat earthers that I've talked to don't even believe that those planets exist. They believe it's made up.
What in the we are the only thing that in the sun revolves around us type of fucking logic is that shit?
The sun, yeah, uh,
Yeah,
that's
I don't understand it. But then again, we're all I mean, not too long ago, humanity believed uh that the sun orbited us and not the other way
Yeah, that's what I'm
around.
saying.
Um
That's what I'm saying. Like
that's what flat
that's
earthers still
how
think
far
though.
back your logic has to fucking go. That's how
Yeah.
far back your fucking logic
yeah.
has to go to think that.
Yeah, and
Like
that's
what in the sun revolves around us? We're the only planet in the solar system is going the fuck on here. But also, if that's true, why is the moon a globe?
why is the
The
sun
thing
a like when we look up in the sky, why is the sun circular?
we
You
can
know?
literally see the sun rotate as a globe. The
Why would
fuck?
we be the
What
special
makes you
circumstance?
right?
That's my
Exactly. And
question.
yeah, I just that just makes no fucking sense. That's just dumb. But yeah, that's what I think about flat Earth.
Oh
Dumb.
well, if the Earth was circular, we should be able to dig straight through it. Homie, have you ever been into a science classroom? They will teach you about why we cannot dig even to the center of the planet. Uh,
Yeah, they tried in Russia. It's a giant fucking hole that goes several kilometers into the Earth. Like it gets very hot very fast.
of course, it would be Russia. You know, as if they already don't have a hole boring into the Earth from an unfortunate nuclear accident.
Yeah, but that's a tiny hole. They needed a big hole.
Well, that's technically not Russia. I think Chernobyl's in Ukraine.
Chernobyl is
Don't give
in
me lines,
Ukraine.
to you.
Yeah. At the time when it happened, it was under Russian, well,
Yeah,
USSR
it was.
control.
Yeah, I was gonna say is USSR. Oh yeah. So, any other thoughts, concerns, conspiracies that you want to touch on with the moon landing, or space, or
I
flat Earth,
No,
or
The only thing that I have to add is that I just feel like people are beating a dead horse with this one because we're like you said, we're only just now getting the technology to even conceive like the like idea to actually fake the moon landing, you know.
yeah. And
Uh
I enjoy Eli's stance of why the fuck would we do that? There's other things to do.
I just
Like what would be the
look. It's not just the why, but I feel like if we would do it, there would be a lot more grandeur to it than you know,
than
like
what we've
we would
gotten?
we
yeah,
would still be making it a huge thing even today, you know. It would
I
be a
feel like
huge
if we
part of our
did, I feel
propaganda.
like if we did fake it, that's when we would find the aliens living under the crust of the
right,
moon.
right.
We
It
as if
would
we did
Oh,
fake
yeah.
it. Like that's that, and I mean that would strictly be to like scare people and like use that scare to control. Like, oh, you better behave, or I'm gonna go tell the aliens about you. Like, you know what I
What I
mean?
mean.
Like,
right
Yeah,
100%.
yeah, that's what I mean by like it would be a lot more integrated into American propaganda than it is. Like, yeah, we talk about it here and there, but it's not like a big talking point about it, you know? Like, we only really bring it up when we're talking about scientific things really anymore. It or like when we're
and
talking about
also,
the failings of Russia, you know?
yeah, and if it was faked, right? It was faked in 1969, right?
Yeah.
Okay, it if it was fake, that means it would have had to been considered classified to a certain degree, whether it was secret, top secret, presidential, vice presidential, whatever, right? There's certain levels of securities, and it would have had to been secured by a firm, not NASA, like a government firm. There would have been a government investigation, and considering that they're using government and federal funding for this program, there would have been a federal investigation. Okay, all of those federal investigations are public knowledge at some point in time. So they would have to release information about them faking it. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, it's only like 60 to 75 years that they can keep that shit silent. So we would have been hearing about it by now. Like,
Oh
yes, we
yeah.
know that they covered up some of the things that they've found out about possible extraterrestrial life, or life outside of our planet. Like, those CIA files have been released, but but there's no files of talking about how we faked the moon landing, but the critical data for the mission itself has already been released, but nothing about it being faked, and yet people are still like, "Oh no, we faked it," and it's like that's
And
not
my
how our
question
like
would be,
information works. Like, that's not how
yeah,
the information in our country works. Like, that's not how we do things.
and my question would be, there were actual civilians watching the like rocket being launched from a distance. Like what would be the point of
Oh, I
having
mean,
people like,
they broadcasted the entire thing on
yeah, but
until disruption on live TV.
yeah. Well,
So,
that's what I'm saying, but like there was a live audience as well to see the rocket take off. What would be the point in spending all of that money, all that time to launch something into space just to fake the actual landing? What was
right,
it, like a couple hours or so later? A few hours? I don't remember how
days,
long it took. That's a failing on my
days,
part, but yeah.
days, a couple days later.
Yeah, a
Right.
couple days. But like what would be the point of that? That just seems like a big waste on something that would essentially just become propaganda in the long run. Like
Yeah,
we've spent less money on more impactful propaganda than faking a moon landing.
right. And I mean, you can't even go back and say like, well, they were probably faking the moon landing so that they could work on, Project Mayhem, which is the long range space subsided nuclear warheads that they were working on so that they could launch nuclears from America to Russia, like East Coast to over, they could use space to for war basically, or at least a part of space for war. Um, and I mean, yeah, you could get away with saying that until you realize that in 1969 and the 1970s and throughout the Cold War, America was very open about its nuclear program.
Yeah,
Like,
we've always been incredibly
they
open
were
about it.
straight up like, "Hey, we're trying to design rockets to make these things go further." Like, they just straight up told people that. Like, it wasn't a fucking secret. So, like, not even like putting in a conspiracy about the moon or the moon landing, which, I mean, there was a space race, but the whole design or idea behind the space race was we were designing rockets to attach warheads to, not people.
Yeah.
Oh, the only difference is that we found other uses for those rockets, and we started using it for space exploration because JFK, who was the president at the time, was very, very big on education and science. So that's why NASA had a large funding in the 1960s and 1970s. Was That's how JFK had that institution set up during his presidency and during the moon landings and things like that.
And there was also a big fear. Part of the reason why we had so much funding was there was a big fear of Russia getting ahead of us on that.
Yeah, and setting up a nuclear base on the moon and launching nukes from the moon to us. Yeah, I know. I've done my due diligence in this. It's a fun little. I chalk it up to sci-fi now because a lot of it is just straight up propaganda. But it is a fun read if you guys have a couple of hours on a weekend or sometime. Just there's a couple more than a couple of documentaries about it, but there's some hilarious shit that you find out about like America and Russia and just the entirety of the Cold War slash space race, because both of those things were going on at the same time, which is what I feel like a lot of people forget. But yeah, there's a lot of fun stuff that'll make you giggle if you go back and read that. We are going to take a quick break. Go ahead and load your bowls and get your controllers ready because we're gonna jump straight into the strain game in just a second. Da 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 da. All right. So the strain game is the thing we like to do here a couple times a week where we take some strains that we've been smoking and some games that we've been playing and we mix them together and that way you can get the best mix and match. We've got an indica, a hybrid, and a sativa all paired with a different game. We're each going to read through one of them and boop, boop. We're each going to read through one of them and you guys are going to get some pretty psychedelic information for your games that you be playing. Um, so Eli's going to take us through the indica, Miranda's going to take us through the hybrid, and I'll hit you with our sativa at the end.
All right, today's indica is Granddaddy Purple. The flavor terp profile, it's sweet, grapey, berry, and it's very mycene heavy. The average THC is 23%. The game pairing is Elden Ring. It's for players who want a deep, immersive journey with no sense of urgency. This couch lock strain slows the world down. Perfect for a boss fight that lasts probably 3 lifetimes, if we're being honest. Hello?
Miranda,
I'm here. Sorry. Um, our next strain is going to be ice cream cake with a flavor profile of like it's more of like a creamy vanilla taste, and the terpene profile is going to be limonene and carophyllene. The average THC is about 25% on that. The game pairing that is suggested is Spider-Man 2. It gives you a balanced high mirrors high balance this the balanced high mirrors the smooth flow of swinging across NYC while still letting your reflexes web snap a bad guy in midair.
and for our last strain, our sativa strain, our sour diesel. The flavor and terp profile of this is going to be some funky diesel citrusy, uh, terpenoline heavy, and also you're going to catch flavor notes of limonene and limonene in there as well. Your average THC content for this strain is generally going to be about 20 to 23%. Sometimes you'll see it dip down to 17 to 19 if it's a sunshine grow. The game pairing for this is going to be Cult of the Lamb. Why? Because when your brain goes weird fast, like the game, perfect for starting a satanic animal cult while giggling uncontrollably. So those have been our strains for today. And speaking of strains, we have an ad coming up from our 421store.com sponsor, the Grown Up Head Shop for all of your online head shop needs. If you are like me and you have social anxiety, go to 421store.com and listen to the ad coming up for the 30% off store wide discount code. Uh, we're gonna hear that. We're gonna hear that ad coming up from Eli, and then after that, I hope that you guys are hungry after you smoked because we're getting into Stoner Snackdown.
Looking to level up your smoke setup? Hit up 421store.com, the online head shop with everything you actually need. We're talking torches, filters, grinders, stash gear, and even premium glass for dabbers and flower heads alike. Whether you're a seasoned sesh lord or just upgrading from that sad gas station pipe, 421 Store's got you. Prices are solid. Shipping's free over $50 and the selection pretty deep. So skip the sketchy shops and hit 421store.com. and use the discount code 420 Munchies. That's 420 Munchies for 30% off store wide. 421store.com, where grown up stoners shop smart.
All right, we are back and we're going into Stoner Snack Smackdown. We are pitting two munchies against each other in this new segment to find out what we think and what you guys think is the best uh, stoner snack. Okay, so on the ballot for today, we've got Flaming Hot Cheetos versus salt and vinegar chips. One's a volcanic inferno, the other is a pickle paradox. Which will burn you faster, your tongue or your regrets? Live vote. Type hot for scorched earth or pickle for tangy terror in the chat. We're about to get into this debate. Are you guys ready? Do you have your opinions formulated?
I have strong opinions formulated.
I have strong opinions formulated. It's wild.
I have very
Uh,
strong feelings about these flavors. So,
so I want to say flaming hot Cheetos, but in my older age, the spicy and the heartburn just I'm not with it. You know, as I've gotten a little older, the heartburn is ass. But
That's
so I'm gonna have
that's
to. I
fair.
guess I'm gonna have to cast my vote for salt and vinegar.
okay. I have never been on the hot Cheetos train. I'm not a big fan of hot Cheetos. Now, see, if we're talking hot fries, on the other hand, I can devour a bag of that in like 2 seconds, no problems. So I am most definitely on the salt and vinegar train. I love salt and vinegar chips. They're amazing for me. Like to me, yeah. I love the way that it makes my tongue feel. I love like the whole sensory experience of it personally. It's a fun thing for me. I don't know how it's a fun thing, but it just is. But I've always had issues with hot Cheetos. I don't feel like they're spicy enough for me. So it feels like I'm just eating regular Cheetos with a slight kick, and I don't like regular Cheetos that much.
If I'm being completely honest, and I know this is the most unpopular opinion out there, but chips aren't supposed to be hot. They're not. They're not supposed to be spicy. They're supposed to be fucking like sweet and savory and taste good and make you forget about like feelings and regrets and shit. Um, and I just don't feel like hot chips do that. They're more of a way to punish yourself and your butthole. And I've just never understood. I've never. I could see them as like toppings for other food. Like I've had some like some elote with Mexican street corn with like some flaming hot Cheetos like crushed up on it and stuff. I've had like Korean corn dogs with like flaming hot Cheetos and stuff like that. I get it, but just like as the sole chip, like just to be eating it like as a chip, what the hell is wrong with y'all?
So
It's salt and vinegar all day. I
So
just have
so
never understood the. I've just never under. Chips aren't supposed to be spicy. That's not the way they were made. That's. I grew up in the '90s. I had me lots of chips. They didn't have spicy chips back then, cause and if they did, I didn't eat them because they weren't no good. What happened to the barbecue and salt and vinegar and 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 salt? Like you know what happened to the good old American flavors? Getting all this weird shit. Brother David in the chat is eating hot fries as we speak. Chips aren't supposed to be hot, and neither are fries. Although steak fries with hot sauce are pretty fucking banging.
I
So
don't know.
so
I like some Cajun fries. Hardcore. I fuck with Cajun fries. Those are delicious
okay,
with a little
that's
bit of kick.
those. That's not spices though. That's seasoning. That's the difference.
No, because some Cajun fries do have a spice level to them.
No, that's seasoning. That's different.
I Spice is seasoning, Dan. The fuck?
Why else do you think that when they talk about England conquering the world for spices, they're talking about seasonings?
Which is
And
crazy
Brother
considering their
David
food
has a
now.
point. Brother David has a point. Cajun is known for its heat. Like it's
Yep.
Cajun's
known
known
for its
for its
spice.
spices, its
Yeah.
spice
And
blend.
Cajun is delicious, and I will fight anybody who says otherwise.
So, so here's the thing. Like, I
Pepper is
am.
not hot. Pepper is not hot, okay?
Some people do find pepper spicy, though. I don't understand it, but
How
it
the
is.
fuck are you finding black pepper spicy?
Okay, so when I make country gravy, I add like a ridiculous amount of black pepper to it. My little brother thinks that it's spicy, and he's like, "I like it because it's spicy." And I'm over here like, "What are you talking about? This is not spicy at all to me."
The fuck I do find black pepper spicy. No, I don't. Don't bully me, motherfucker.
Also, Dan, barbecue chips are still one of the most popular flavors of chips in the United States to consume. So it's
You
not off of its
damn
own
right they
anymore.
are.
Because
You damn right they are. The best
barbecue chips
goddamn
are
chip.
delicious. Yes, barbecue chips are
Best
very
goddamn
delicious.
chip.
But I will still pick salt and vinegar over barbecue every day.
Oh, I'll pick barbecue over salt and I'll do barbecue over every chip. Fucking, I don't care.
No,
You have
I
Mexican chips, Chinese chips, Japanese chips, hot chips, not hot chips, salty chips. Barbecue's the way it's fucking going, man.
no, brother
Barbecue
David.
chips on a PB&J? Hell yeah.
No. No.
I like that. See, here's okay. So chips on the PB&J thing. If we're getting into that real quick, Doritos, like OG nacho cheese Doritos. You're sitting there thinking like, ew, what the fuck? But no, fucking try it. Don't eat cheese on a PB&J, but do eat Doritos. I don't know why. Okay, it's got to be with grape jelly though. If you're one of those strawberry jelly weirdos, if you're one of those strawberry jelly weirdos, it's that recipe's not gonna work for you. Stick with the barbecue, okay?
Excuse me?
What about raspberry? What about
I didn't
raspberry?
I didn't even know that was a fucking thing. Okay. Well, I mean,
You
obviously, I
can
knew
make it.
raspberry jelly was a thing, but I didn't know it was the thing like on a commercial level. Okay, fuck out of here with your weird shit. It's either
They
grape or
have so
strawberry. We
many.
all know that. If you're not
They have
fucking with Smuckers, you're fucking up. Apple cherries.
apple jelly's
Apple,
good.
it is good, but it's not good on peanut butter and jelly. It's only good on toast.
I don't agree
I
with
will
that.
disagree,
I don't agree with
but
that.
I also am an
How
adamant peanut butter hater. So I use almond butter for
do you
everything.
hate peanut butter?
It don't it nasty, but I love almond butter more. So that actually goes
What?
quite well with apple jelly.
That's still nut butter.
I know, but it's a different flavor profile. It's not about the texture for me, it's about the taste. I do not like the taste of peanut butter unless it is paired with chocolate.
Do you like peanuts?
Uh, not in particular. Like, I'll eat them, but it's not like I'm
That's
offended
fair.
by them.
That's fair. I,
I
I
just
enjoy
don't
I
like,
enjoy
yeah.
I enjoy cashews more than I do peanuts, but I enjoy peanuts more than I enjoy peanut butter more than any other like nut butter.
Yeah, I'm just not a big peanut butter person. I believe I ate a lot of peanut butter when I was a kid, so it's not like I always hated it. It's just somewhere along the lines I
Oh,
stopped
boiled
liking it.
peanuts, fuck that. Fuck boiled peanuts altogether, because what the fuck is that?
You know what I never understood is putting peanuts
Boiled
in your
peanuts.
Coke.
Oh,
Ah,
that's fucking delicious. But it's gotta be the glass Coke bottle, and it's gotta be Coke made with real sugar because there is a chemical reaction that happens between the salt of a planter's peanut, and it's gotta be planters. It can't just be a regular fucking peanut. It's gotta be planters salted peanuts and the real cane sugar Coca-Cola in the glass bottle. There's a chemical reaction that happens and it creates a flavor profile that you can only get, and it's delicious by the way. It's like eating French fries with ice cream. It gives you like sweet and salty, like the perfect combination. And it
yeah,
also
I've never
softens up the. But yeah, Yeah, it's a very specific combination that if done any other way, you're not gonna get the right you're not gonna get the right reaction
Yeah,
to it.
I've just never tried
So,
it because at the time that it was offered to me, I was in the camp of, well, why would I want to chew on something while I'm from a drink? And then I've had boba since then. So, completely changed my worldview on that whole thing. So I will eventually have to try that as a because I am a huge Coca-Cola fanatic. Please do not hand me a Pepsi. I do
I like
not like
both.
Pepsi that
I
much.
I like both, but both have places.
Yeah, like
Which
Sure.
both
if Pepsi's the
like
only option, I'll take it. But I love
like
Coca
I would
Cola.
rather have Pepsi with pizza than Coke, but I would rather have Coke with a hamburger than Pepsi.
Now, see, if you give me a nice street taco with all the toppings except for cilantro, I have the unfortunate soap gene. Um, you give me a nice street taco with some good hot red salsa, like, and I'm talking about like burning your tongue off with a nice Coca Cola. You have I'm your best friend.
Yeah,
I
I
love.
mean, I feel that. I'm just saying, like Pepsi has its place in the world. It just depends on what
Mm,
you're eating
it's
or like
it's just too
the
sweet for
situation you're
me.
in,
For me, it's just a
which
little.
is why you pair it with extra salty foods.
But I don't like it with extra salty foods. But I also don't do sweet savory combinations that often.
Yeah, I don't really drink soda anymore either. If I do, it's like a very small one, and I still don't finish it. Um, and I it's generally Sprite or ginger ale if I am gonna have one. Um,
Sprite's
peanut
the
butter and banana
classic.
sandwiches are dope. But yeah, I drink a lot more tea. I drink more tea than anything else. Like
Wendy's
I make
fries in a chocolate shake is goaded though.
yeah. I mean, it's still not as good as Sonic's tater tots though.
Sonic does have some pretty good tater tots.
They also have good sweet tea too, but I
Their
make better sweet
fries,
tea myself. Now Popeye's sweet tea, that's something fucking else because that's just straight fucking syrup.
that's Southern sweet tea right there.
That's
Uh,
that's straight fucking syrup. I've seen the way they make their fucking sweet tea. That shit's concentrate.
yeah,
That's not even simple sugars. That's complex sugars right there.
that's like a real Southern sweet, like as close to a real Southern sweet tea as you can get is Popeyes. Cause
Right, where
like
they put molasses in the bottom of the jar type shit.
yes, and it's
Yum.
just like 90% sugar and then the rest is tea, but you get some ice in there on a nice hot day and ugh, it just hits right.
See, I like molasses sun tea. My granny used to
Oh,
make that every summer. She'd set out a big 5 gallon jug, like clear one with a little spigot that she put in to the bottom
yep.
of it, and
Yeah.
she'd just put molasses in the bottom of it and make sun tea, and it was so good. It's
See, my
so
grandma,
good.
she wouldn't even add any sugar to it. She'd just sit the tea out on the porch and it just had this natural sweetness to it. And it was so good. I miss sun tea so much. I need to make some, honestly. It's not that
Yeah, while it's
hard.
summer out.
Yeah.
Not if you're patient.
What is patience?
A virtue.
It's a learned thing, man.
Yeah, if it's a virtue. It's learned. It can't be obtained.
Yep. Now I'm
Oh
hungry.
man.
Thanks.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, join the club. I'm sitting here eyeing my fucking Pop Tarts.
Eat the Pop Tarts. Satisfy the craving.
Yeah, but see, here's the thing. If I eat the Pop Tarts, I have to get up to toast the Pop Tarts because who the fuck eats raw Pop Tarts? I'll eat raw eggs before I eat raw Pop Tarts. That's just
What
fucking
is
me.
wrong with you?
Um,
We used to get Pop Tarts as like a snack at school with no toaster available, so I will raw dog a Pop Tart if needed.
Frozen Pop
nope.
Tarts are good.
What the
That is
fuck?
disgusting, David.
Hot Cheetos and PB and See, I like
No,
regular Cheetos and PB&J. I don't like the hot. Chips aren't supposed to be hot. Did you miss that? Unheated Pop Tarts is fire. Go fuck yourself. That's like eating a frozen toaster strudel. That's just sacrilege.
I will eat a
listen.
frozen
You
toaster
don't just.
strudel too,
I'll eat
dude.
a
Fuck
frozen
off.
toaster
That's.
strudel too. I'll eat a frozen chocolate chip waffle as well. I'm weird.
What?
Like,
On a hot
I don't
summer's
have. I
day,
don't have
straight
like.
out the
I don't have
freezer.
sensitive teeth. I can bite into popsicles and ice cream and shit like that. But the frozen waffle, what the fuck?
Yeah,
Frozen
frozen
doesn't mean
doesn't.
good.
Hey, I'm not
Exactly.
saying it's good. I'm just saying it's there.
I've eaten a cold waffle before, but a fucking frozen one?
Yeah. Listen, you do desperate things for desperate measures. a frozen crust, a
Now,
frozen
yes, a
uncrustable.
frozen that
yeah,
that
frozen
a frozen
uncrustables
peanut
are
butter and
fire.
jelly.
They have
Yes,
they
that.
also they also have chocolate and peanut butter uncrustables now, and those frozen are fucking delicious.
The raspberry ones are amazing as well.
Oh, by the way, if you guys haven't tried, if you guys think they're good frozen, you should try them deep fried.
Uncrustables deep
No,
fried are good. Yep.
I don't like them deep fried. I don't like how the peanut butter changes. Because you gotta remember, I don't really like peanut butter that much. So the fact that I even eat Uncrustables is like a gift from God. So,
You know they make
No,
you
but the
know they make
raspberry
almond
ones
butter.
will fuck it up.
You you
What?
know they
not
make
deep.
all.
Oh, not deep fried. No, frozen.
Who's talking right now? Um, no, they make almond. I'm pretty sure they make almond butter uncrustables.
They do.
Yeah.
They are. I have
So
not found them yet. So when I find
Amazon,
them,
Amazon.
oh, that's probably why. Because I don't order food offline. Like I'm really weary of like delivering food, but that's also because I am one of those people that don't. I have to pick out my own meat and produce, and yeah.
Well, yeah, but that's a good thing. There's no meat and produce in a fucking peanut butter and jelly sandwich.
I know.
Yeah,
I'll have to
bro.
look it up and try it though. I don't know. I've always been it's just like with the AI stuff, I'm really weary of it, not necessarily because I think it's an inherently a bad idea. I think it's a great idea. I just I'm slow to change. So,
It's been 5 years.
yeah. Yeah. I'm slow to I'm very slow compared to the rest of the world with some of that stuff.
I don't think I don't think AI is horrible. I think what we're doing with AI currently is horrible. I think the
That.
way that we're
I
I
can
think the
agree with
way that
that.
we are I think the way that we are using it is horrible. The way that we are setting it up is to be used is horrible. The AI actuality of what AI is and what it could do and what it provides, not horrible. I think it's pretty fucking cool. But that's just coming from like a science standpoint. I understand why people don't like it personally. The A and AI, the artificial part. I mean, all it is just a compilation of all human knowledge, though, and you just reach it faster than we already have all this information written down somewhere, but you have to go find it, and then you have to and then like you have to find someone to break that information down for you and things like that. Like that's what I'm saying. If we actually used AI for information, like gathering and things like that, to ways to make us smarter instead of trying to take all of our creativity away and make it artificial, like that's the part that sucks, man. That's the part that it's being set up and used incorrectly. It's being used for all of these creative things that we should be doing ourselves that we just lack the information on how to do. AI should be being used for information gathering and resource gathering and things like that, and a way to make a list and the way like it formulates the information into a way that you can use it as a common person. You get to use this information that was recently only known by like, you know, the 5,000 people or less because those are the scientists that works on it. AI that knows quantum mechanics.
Yeah.
Roger that. AI that knows quantum mechanics and feelings is in a no-no. Um, I
Okay.
mean,
Well, on that note, we
yeah.
should probably reel the conversation back into food. Um, do you have a preference on fried or baked chips, Dan?
I like kettle chips, honestly. So, um,
Kettle
I'm
chips are
not
good.
sure. I don't know how kettle chips are necessarily made. I don't know if they're fried or baked or somewhere in between, but I
I believe
enjoy
they're
the.
fried.
Okay, cool. I enjoy the crunch then
See,
of
I am really weird. I like the plain, the regular Lays. I really like the texture of how they are baked.
too thin.
Nah, 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 nah.
Yeah,
They're thicker than the original Lays too. But
yeah,
I
but
don't.
it feels like they're trying to be a Pringle, and I don't like that from my Lay's.
Yeah, because they do have somewhat of a similar texture to Pringles, so I can
Yeah,
see.
but Pringles you
Pringles are
just don't
thinner
get.
even than the baked Lays, though.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know about that. I've had some pretty thick Pringles in my life.
I don't know what kind of Pringles you've been eating. I always get like the paper thin ones that break when you breathe on them incorrectly.
Oh, yeah, I don't know, man. If you're not if you're not weighing your Pringles in hand, each canister has a different weight, no matter what's said on the package.
Now,
You just gotta
see,
it's, it's a you gotta vibe check the Pringles, man. You gotta vibe check the Pringles.
I,
bro,
I,
I love the pizza Pringles so much. They don't taste anything like pizza though.
Pringles are the only chip manufacturer that makes a bad barbecue, like a bad
Oh
barbecue
yeah, their
chip.
barbecue is awful.
It's terrible. It's god awful. And what's really bad is like it's their third iteration. Um, they did used to taste like pizza. Now they taste like plastic cheese. You're not wrong. Yeah, the only
Thank
the only
you. But
Pringles I
they're
really enjoy, the only Pringles I really enjoy anymore are the originals. The original Pringles.
see, I
They have
can't even
just
enjoy those. They taste stale to me now. Like I'll open up a fresh can. My sister eats a lot of Pringles. I'll open up a fresh can, take a bite out of it, and it feels like I've been eating a chip that's been sitting around for 20 years.
Now see that's the thing is like a lot of people expect a front flavor, like a flavor on the front of their at the front of their indulgence, like at the front of their tongue. And the thing about Pringles is a lot of their flavor profiles are lingering. They're after profiles. So like it has just enough salt and like sweet potato like taste, like the sweetness of how they cook their Pringle or whatever. Um, in the original that it makes you want another one. And that's like a lot of people are expecting like bold, like in your face, like a Lay's chip, where all of the flavor hits you all at once and then slowly diminishes over time. Where
Yeah,
Pringles is it's a very shallow front flavor,
it's a buildup
but like
of flavor.
yeah, the more
Like
you
you
eat,
build
the
it
more
up.
you're gonna exactly the more of them that you eat, the more you're going to taste the flavor of the chip. So like
Uh,
you got to get through the first three. The first three might suck, but then you're gonna be like, oh damn, okay, I see what you're talking about now. But yeah, I don't know. Hot Cheetos is like dating in your 30s, intensive, addictive, and kind of leaves you weeping. So pretty sure we all picked the salt and vinegar chips. If you listen to this after the fact and you have an opinion on literally any of the food that we just talked about because we're stupid high, leave us down in the comments or hit us in the Discord or call in and leave a voicemail. We really don't care. We'll listen to it later. We are going to drop into Mana Drops right here with your boy Eli. He's going to take us through all of your nerdy updates and news coming right up after this short break. Uh, Da 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 da.
Welcome to Mana Drop. This is your dose of nerd chaos and game news. The Pokemon Presents actually debuted July 22nd, and they dropped the first official trailer for ZA. And I have to say, it looks like Pokemon. Excuse me, Pokemon Mob Boss Simulator, and I'm down for it. I'm totally here for it. So, if you guys haven't seen the trailer for Pokemon Legends ZA, you guys should go ahead and check that out because it actually looks fire. Um, in RPG news, Cyberpunk 2077. I don't want to say it's a sequel to Phantom Liberty has been confirmed, but it is probably going to be a sequel to Phantom Liberty. Uh, CDPR seizes a potential expansion by 2026 with new districts, new high space missions, and modded chrome horses. If you guys don't know, like in the cyberpunk lore, they were chromin animals before they were chromin human beings. So getting to see chromed out animals is going to be really cool. Um, Although there is a good chance that it is probably going to be headed by Virtuous Visions, the same people that made the Oblivion remaster and worked on side content for Cyberpunk 2077 already. Um, and that leads me to say that Fallout 5 has been greenlit by Microsoft and Bethesda Softworks, but it is not going to be worked on by Bethesda Softworks. And with the success of Oblivion, I am going to go ahead and theorize that Virtuous is also going to work on that too. If it's not going to be Virtuous, they're going to go ahead and travel the license on over to Obsidian to basically give us Fallout New Vegas 2, which is really exciting. Um, in streaming news, Star Trek Strange New Worlds renewed for season 4 on Paramount Plus. They've ordered 10 new episodes. Captain Pike's crew goes on cosmic cartoon. Captain Pike crew goes cosmic. Cartoon meets philosophical podcast. Um, Space. The final sitcom frontier. Beam me up, Scotty. I need more jokes. And Lord of the Rings, Rings of Power, has a spin-off in development over at, isn't it Amazon Prime?
Yeah, Amazon Prime.
Yes.
The fresh series will be set in the Second Age, rings forging, island politics, and way more ring bearers. Essentially, elves gossiping over the foraging schedule. I'm here for the Tolkien tea.
Man, how do you get a spinoff of a spinoff?
I am asking myself the same question because, like,
Oh yeah, brother David has a good point. Wolfenstein did get greenlit for a series on Amazon as well,
let's
Oh well, that's pretty
go.
cool.
Yeah, that'll be
which
great.
I am personally excited for. I've never gotten to play the games, but I love watching people play them. I love the franchise. Um, I would love to play the games as well. So I'm kind of excited to see what they're going to do with it in a television format.
See, here's the only thing with breaking down video games into TV shows is it has to be done really well. Like what you saw with Resident Evil, what you saw with Tomb Raider, what you saw with but there are there are some movies and some video games, and I'm not saying Wolfenstein is one of them because it's a great game. Loved it when I played it. But and I can totally see it being a TV show, but you gotta be careful because otherwise you just end up pissing off the entire fan base.
So
Oh
here's
yeah.
my thing. Here's my thing when it comes to like video game based shows, especially like bigger properties like that, bigger story driven properties. The reason why Fallout does so well, the Fallout TV show is so good because the thing about like as Fallout, for instance, especially, and even Resident Evil to an extent. But when your setting is your main character, you can essentially tell any story within that setting as long as it sits within the confines of the lore. Does that make sense? And
Yeah,
with
no,
with
that
with
that
with shows with games like Fallout and the Elder Scrolls, like with the Elder Scrolls, I would argue that there's no specific main character in the Elder Scrolls, but the setting is the main character of the Elder Scrolls. Like the focus is on Tamriel and its politics and the mystical things happening within Tamriel. Like we know that there are other places in Nern, but the setting of Tamriel is the main character. Does that make sense? And the same
right,
goes
because
for like, you
all
know,
it's doing is telling stories from those different lands. Basically, it's just
right,
like you're playing through the legends of that land as the legend.
right.
Yeah,
Like,
I think that
essentially,
is
because like,
why. Well, like,
yeah, because
just to just to give you guys some context, I've developed a fantasy universe myself. I've worked on it for about 13 years. Um, and I started like it started as a tabletop game, and we started developing like the area that kind of the main bulk of what my stories would be take place like during that tabletop game, and then I started developing other places throughout the world for other projects, and I kind of wound up slamming them all together because the lore just kind of started to track together and like blend, if that makes sense. And like I would consider the world of that world build to be the main character of any of my stories. Like I picture what's happening in the land in the forefront, and I think that when you're telling a story with like with a video game, like that's why the Minecraft movie is the way that it is, because the Minecraft universe is kind of the main character of Minecraft. You know what I mean? Like
yeah,
the
yeah, they
aesthetic
just
of
could have done a
Minecraft.
little bit better
Sure,
with
sure.
it.
I mean, that's neither here nor there. Like people
Yeah,
love the Minecraft movie. It is what it is. You know.
yeah. I think I mean I didn't necessarily enjoy the character interactions, but I enjoyed what they did with the world. You know,
Right. Exactly. Just
that's the
because.
most important part is the world of Minecraft, like the
Right.
feeling of Minecraft.
Right. And as long as you
yeah,
are
me either, David. Me
accomplishing,
neither.
you know, as long as like with the games like Fallout and games like Wolfenstein, like we don't have to see Billy Blazkowicz as the main character of Wolfenstein as long as you're capturing that universe feel and that vibe, Kind of same with Resident Evil, dude. I don't expect to see Leon Kennedy in my Resident Evil movie as long as you're putting me in Raccoon City or, you know, just somewhere where Resident Evil is taking place and giving me the T virus and the V virus, like give me that lore and tell me a story with the lore. You don't have to rehash a
Yeah.
video game in a movie. We don't need that. If you want
Well,
to tell
see,
us an,
that's
you know, if you want to tell us an
uh,
extracurricular story in that universe, do it. Don't tell us a story that we already know. That's what makes video game movies work. Well, movies and shows now.
see. I mean, I think as long as like whatever the spin-off from the Rings of Power, like I don't understand why they're spinning it off. Honestly, they should just call it what it is. Um, but
It's Tolkien fan fiction from my personal, because I've watched both seasons of The Rings of Power and it feels like fan fiction. It doesn't feel like a Tolkien
oh,
story, especially with the way that it's presented.
Right. Did I lose you guys?
so no, no, I'm here. I'm sorry. So the Rings of Power, and that is, um, it, it's a book that Tolkien wrote outside of Lord of the Rings, outside of The Hobbit. It's called the Similarian.
Cimmerillion.
If you don't,
Yeah, the
well,
Silmarillion.
yeah, okay. So we have different ways of pronouncing it. That's fine.
No, that is how
English
it is
isn't
pronounced.
English isn't my first language, and we have different ways of pronouncing it. That's fine, because it's pronounced different in French, which is my first language. So that's where this is based out of. Now the thing is that it's not. fan fiction, it's how Tolkien created the universe. So like it's how Tolkien created the Middle Ages. That's how he created Middle Earth. So um, he wrote from the first to the fourth age, and how like that's how we
Yes,
know that that's how we know that Gandalf is first off not his real name, and secondly one of the oldest and most powerful beings on the entire fucking planet. So, which is why
yes.
he doesn't die. He assimilates and rises and like powers up essentially because he is a high elf and one of the original creators of the land of Middle Earth.
Well, there is a reason why I say it feels more like a fan fiction than a Tolkien piece, and it's because they do change a lot of things about the lore for the time period as well. Um, and it's a lot of it. How it, uh, and that's my biggest gripe with it. And that's why it doesn't feel like a Tolkien piece is because it does change the lore. And if it's going to be
What
a Tolkien piece and you're going to appease Tolkien fans, a lot of Tolkien fans want you to stick to the lore. We do not need Galadriel doing all these badass things by herself when at this point, even in time period that they are, she's technically married. Well, he's never even mentioned, never even brought up. Nothing of the sort. He does not exist yet, even. It, you know, uh, the way that they introduce Gandalf is not lore accurate. you know,
no,
so that's.
he was found naked in the woods.
But he wasn't found naked in the woods in the show. he
Was he
wasn't.
not?
No, he a Harfoot saw him fall from the sky, and he was found in an empty field in a crater, and it lit up as if Sauron had something to do with it, which is completely inaccurate. Like they tried to make it seem like he was going to be an evil guy in my personal perspective from it, and that obviously that was not the case. But it does. But something that I
Oh,
do appreciate.
they made you
Yeah,
question whether
but
it was Sauron or Gandalf
yes. And then, but at
because
the
they
same
both
time, I
appeared
do
on the
like
planet.
how we're exploring how Gandalf is learning how to control his powers because he essentially had memory loss. He he doesn't remember, being this all powerful, essentially a type of god. Um,
Yeah, it's the first elves
but yeah,
or the
so
high
like
elves.
yeah,
High elves.
so
Yeah.
we're discovering like how he's working with his power and all that right now, and I don't mind
Yeah,
that.
right. I mean, I do think any recreation is gonna have some creative leeway to go one way or the other as long as the overall lore is represented. But I don't know. That sounds so. The way you're making it sounds pretty dramatic. I might have to go uh watch The Rings of Power. I didn't think I had to because I read the book. So, but apparently, you know,
Yeah, no,
I
that's why a
thought
lot
it
of
would.
fans don't like it, is because it changes a lot of things.
Yeah, there's a
See, I
lot of
wonder.
deviation there.
That makes me wonder if they also incorporated like uh tales of the first and second age, like legends of this first and second age that Tolkien wrote, where because some of that changed the original lore from uh the Silmarillion.
Yeah, but that's why a lot of people don't like the Rings of Power. It's not because it's not a good show. It's good for what it is, but it doesn't feel like a Tolkien work. It feels like a fan fiction. It feels like somebody got inspired from his work and made something in his universe with his characters. And but and but it's good entertainment in my personal opinion. It's just not a good Tolkien based work.
Interesting.
Sure, I could see that. I mean,
Yes.
I feel that way about the Witcher TV show on Netflix, so
Or
Yeah.
do they change
Like
a
it's
bunch of stuff on it too?
a lot.
See, and that's the thing. Was The Witcher a book or a video game first?
It was a book first. It was released in 1992, I want to say. I was about to say 1996, but that was Game of Thrones.
And then that became a game series, and now they're doing TV with it.
Yeah. And the TV show is based off of the books specifically, not the game. I think they're going to start getting into the games like in this next season,
Yeah.
but I don't know. I think there's plenty enough content for them to use because it's a collection of short stories. The Witcher, like I think there's plenty
Yeah.
enough content for them to use, like that they could
Lots of
use
stuff.
it just in the Witcher lore that they could pull from for the show, and they're just not, and it's ass.
That's the same thing with like the Assassin's Creed
oh yeah.
net series. There's a lot of shit that y'all can fuck up, like as far as like how they become assassins and like the modules for how they get sent back into the DNA, or it just depending on which type of, but there's like an overall game lore that we all come to expect when we hear Assassin's Creed. And those like main things like that, those are things that just shouldn't be fucked with.
Right, I agree.
Like those key concepts that make that universe, and things that were things that basically aren't going to make the entire fan base go, you're a fucking idiot, because there's 19 fucking games and 22 books released right now on Assassin's Creed, and you got all of that wrong. Like it micro explains it to you in every single fucking game that you play about how we get hooked up to this module using this algorithm, and it gets sent back to this DNA module, and like, or this DNA link and whatever. Like,
Yep.
you know what I mean? Like there's like a whole setup. They do it every time in every game. Like, and you fuck
I
that
would
up.
I would like to say, for the most part, I do agree with Brother David, though. I would like something new and original. Uh,
Well,
like I enjoy my shows based off of video games and well loved books and stuff, but I would appreciate a new concept as well, especially with we're in the midst of a whole bunch of remakes and Disney live actions and all that. So I personally agree with him. I would love to have a new idea out there as well.
I'm
Uh,
trying, you guys. I promise.
oh, and yeah, and I'm over the superhero stuff too. I mean,
I'm not.
I, I'm I'm getting a little over it. I mean, we have two companies that have entirely large, like huge, franchises. I could spend days watching freaking Marvel movies, and it's gotten to the point to where for
Here's
me it's a little bloated because now we're getting TV shows and spin-offs about of this character that they introduced in this movie, but if you haven't watched this movie you don't know what the heck is going on, and it's frustrating for me because I don't want to have to watch every single TV show that they produce to understand what's going on in the movie.
right. Okay, so real quick, Cliff Notes are a thing. Secondly, um, so I'm a huge comic book nerd. I've been reading comic books since I was like a child, like a small child. Like that's how I learned how to read English, was through comic books. Um, so I'm a huge comic book nerd, and if they keep it canon,
You don't have an
I'm
issue
I'm
with
not
it.
I'm not over the superhero BS at all, because that shit is so cool to me that they take like this microscopic detail and like make it a thing. You know what I mean? Like, because the reason you have to watch those TV shows and stuff like that is because in the comic books you had intersecting dimensions. You had stuff that were happening in the same universe that affected each other. And they would talk about other superheroes in their comics. So like the
Yeah, and I
Fantastic
understand
Four
that.
knew about the Avengers. Like
Yeah.
and the things that they were doing with the Silver Surfer was fucking over Tony Stark. Like it was like a whole thing. It was like a
Yeah.
whole thing. And so it was
And
like really cool when they were like, "Hey, we're gonna go back and we're gonna make this canon because
yeah, and
uh,
I can understand that, but
that
it is a
that's like
different
the whole
format.
Deadpool Batman thing." You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like,
Yeah.
but
And like I understand that, but it's a completely different format of telling a story as opposed to a comic book. And sometimes when you start having so much live media, it becomes a clusterfuck, to put it, like you start getting all, like the whole MCU timeline, like if you were to watch it based on like the accurate timeline, you're jumping from, like, there are certain things in the movies that are supposed to come earlier that don't mention things that they're supposed to, or you know what I mean? Like the movies that were released. So it's like the
well, I
Captain
mean,
America movies.
it depends on how deep you read into the context and then subtext of what's being said versus what's being viewed.
That
You
as
have
well,
to
but you can
you have to
tell
put
in some of the movies that they didn't actually, they didn't have, because some of the movies came out in a different phase. You can tell that because they weren't working on that next phase quite yet, that you know it's kind of they missed something that they were supposed to put into an earlier movie for the implications. And yeah,
right.
I think with a video format media, it can get too cluttered. There can be too much. And with the
We're
Marvel,
there.
like,
Yeah.
yeah, it's getting
Yeah,
too
but the
much
thing is,
for the for me
just
as an
simplify
average
it, and use
no,
the plot.
Dan, for me as an average consumer, somebody who is not huge into the comic books and the lore and all that, there is too much, for the average consumer. There's just a lot. For somebody who, like you, who is super huge into the comic books, it may not be enough, and I can completely understand that viewpoint. But as an
Yeah,
average consumer, there is so much about superheroes and stuff like that it's just, it's a lot. I mean, look at how many Batman and Superman remakes we've had too, with different takes and all that other stuff. It's just, there's a lot going on, and it becomes very hard to follow for somebody who's just casually just wanting to watch a superhero movie, you know?
that's fair. Um, and I would like to politely say that some universes are not made for you.
And I can agree with that. I can agree with that.
Like, um, I don't mean that in any type of rude way. I'm not telling you don't watch it. I'm saying like
No,
it was more made that way for the
or it,
fans that would, yeah.
yeah,
Because
and I
because
understand that.
if you take too much of that away,
You lose
you lose the
substance.
universe.
Yeah.
Well, you use the universal plot. Like
Yes.
you lose, like if they didn't come out with Ant-Man and Doctor Strange both going through the multiverse and the way that they did it and stuff like that, you and then turn around and do Spider-Man with it as well, you would lose the delicate infrastructure that is the multiverse because it's like very complexly created.
Yeah.
So like if you
So what they
don't
need
explain
to do,
that, but if you explain that
yeah.
all in one movie, it's not gonna make any fucking sense at all.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you have to do like micro explanations of a larger plot point before you can actually be like, hey, this is the plot point and this is canon with the comic books and the things that happened
Yeah.
with like
I
the
feel like,
initial like story. Now the
yeah.
thing about David in the chat though, yeah, stop. I mean, we can honestly stop making Superman stuff, and I know that there's a new Superman like in theaters right now. Like we could honestly just call it quits right there for like the next 25 to 30 years and focus on the like other DC characters that are not
Yes.
getting like screen time. Like there are
Yes.
so many other DC superheroes. Like we still don't have a fucking a Mutant X fucking uh movie. We we don't have there's no not of recent and in the new like DC universe or even in the Marvel universe, there's so many more characters that we could be focusing on and doing movies for that also tie into the current multiverse theories and your multiverse canon and things like that. Like there's a bigger direction that we can go than just focusing on Iron Man 1 through 7 and Batman 1 through 22 and Superman 1 through 84. Like you don't have to have a movie per every issue of comic book. Like there's no way you're stretching that shit. So I mean, I don't know. There's I would also yeah, anyways. I know we're running out of time here. I know we went over a little bit. Appreciate you guys hanging out. But yeah, that's where you get when you get a spin-off of a spin-off of a spin-off of a spin-off and a bunch of superhero movies that nobody cares about because you're not keeping it canon. Uh Eli, your final thoughts on our mono drops today.
Um, I'm thinking that Virtuous is going to be everybody's regulated side studio. I think that there are too many comic book movies, and I love comic books. I've got a stack of comic books literally sitting right in front of me right now. Like, I can't even say anything, but I think that the MCU's lore is becoming a little too bloated for a movie format. I do agree. I do agree with Miranda. I do agree with David. We do need something new. Um, and that's pretty much all I got, man. I appreciate y'all. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
All
you.
right,
Thank
man.
you.
Well, go ahead and hit us with our outro, and we'll be out of here for today. Be back on Wednesday.
Anyway, thank you guys for chilling with us through another wild ride of Munchies and Mana, where we pair conspiracies with cannabis and snacks with satire. Don't forget, subscribe, share, and tell your therapist you saw us first. Catch you next time. That's Wednesday, 8 a.m. Central, 6 a.m. PST, 9 a.m. over in Florida. We love you guys. Keep your tinfoil hats snug and your controllers charged. Peace, puffs, and power ups. Bye, everybody.
Bye. Have a great day.
Bye.